Hey wrestling fans, my name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka what kind of snacks you want, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title and the thumbnail of the video, this is my WWE Smackdown review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the entire video from all the way from the beginning all towards the end. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, because I'm on the road to 11K before the end of April. Follow all my social media down below in the description. Go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. And also go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights. And also, last but not least, go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights that I did on the channel. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Smackdown was a decent show, and I have to give that show a 5 out of 10. Because we're on the road to WrestleMania 42. WWE Smackdown was on from San Jose, California, SAP Center. WWE Smackdown kicks off with clips of last week's show. We see Randy Orton's promo with Pat McAfee attacking Cody Rhodes. We come to the arena. We see Cody Rhodes entering the arena. He is stopped by Nick Aldis, and he asks him where's Pat McAfee is at. He tells him Pat McAfee is not there yet, but he's on his way. He tells Cody Rhodes that he has strict orders that he cannot put his hands on Pat McAfee. In comes Jelly Roll, who asks him where is Pat McAfee at. Jelly Roll was hurt too. Nick Aldis walks away, and Jelly Roll tells Cody Rhodes that he knows this is about him and Randy Orton. This is about 20 years of history, and he walks away. Live in the arena, Rhea Ripley music hits, and now she comes to the ring. Rhea Ripley congratulates Jade Cargill on finally using her brain and finding Rhea Ripley's only weaknesses. She tells Jade Cargill that it's not about physics or titles. She made it personal. She said she attacked her, Io Sky, and she needs Jade Cargill to come out, and she can whoop her. You know what? Io Sky music hits. And now she comes. Io Sky. Rhea Ripley asks Io Sky what she is doing out. Io Sky tells Rhea Ripley that she knows she is angry, but so is she. Io Sky says she knows that Rhea Ripley will get Jade at WrestleMania 42, but she wants to face her tonight. Rhea Ripley tells Io Sky that she trusts her, but she is not 100% after Monday. Io Sky says she is sure she will talk to Nick Aldis if she has to. She wants Jade Cargill tonight. Let me take a sip of my water. Alright, let me continue. Out comes Nick Aldis, and he tells her he wants to save her the conversation. He says she got it. Io Sky against Jade Cargill in the main event. So we go to commercial break. Alright, so we get the first match of the night. So we get Bayley accompanied by Lyra Kill versus Alexa Bliss accompanied by Charlotte Flair. This was a good match, what it was too. The bell rings, we are underway. Bayley with a shoulder tackle. Bayley goes for a roll split, but Alexa Bliss pushes her away. She throws Alexa Bliss in the corner, and Bayley with right hands. Bayley goes for a knee, but Alexa Bliss moves out of the way. Alexa Bliss to the ropes, but Bayley with a clothesline, and Alexa Bliss falls to the outside of the ring. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Alexa Bliss with a modified natural selection. She goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. Alexa Bliss with the double knees. She goes for a senton, but Bayley moves out of the way. Bayley with a sunset flip into the turnbuckles. She goes for the cover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out. Bayley climbs the top rope, but Alexa Bliss gets to her feet. Alexa Bliss gets her in the trio roll. Alexa Bliss with a drop kick. Alexa Bliss climbs the second rope, but Bayley gets her in, gets to her feet. Alexa Bliss with a tornado DDT. She goes for the cover, but Bayley kicks out. Alexa Bliss goes for the Sister Abigail, but Bayley reverses it into Bayley to belly. They both get to their feet and hit each other with right hands. Bayley slams Alexa Bliss into the bottom turnbuckle. Bayley climbs the top rope, and she lands the elbow drop. She goes for the cover, but Alexa Bliss kicks out. Alexa Bliss rolls to the outside, and Bayley would charge onto Alexa Bliss in front of Charlotte Flair. In comes Lyra Kira, but the referee stops Lyra Kira. Bayley gets on the ring apron, and Charlotte Flair throws her jacket onto Bayley. Alexa Bliss rolls Bayley into the ring, going for the cover, but she gets the pin. The winner of the match, Alexa Bliss. This was a good match, what it was. We cut to the back, and Carmelo Hayes is with Matt Cardona in the trainer's room. Matt Cardona tells him he has been where he is, but he still gets his WrestleMania moment. In comes Trick Williams with Lil Yachty. Trick Williams tells him he thought he was going to win. Carmelo Hayes tells him he is part of the reason why he lost. He tells him he has to rehab his knee. Lil Yachty tells Carmelo Hayes that he gets to watch Trick Williams win the title at WrestleMania 42 while on a crutch. Carmelo Hayes tells Lil Yachty he should have stayed on the couch. Lil Yachty tells him catering is that way. They argue, and Carmelo Hayes walks away. Matt Cardona tells him he doesn't have time for this. Trick Williams tells him he doesn't have the time for him. Lil Yachty tells Trick Williams that Trick Williams can't take him on tonight. Matt Cardona says he will go to Nick Aldis about it. So we go to commercial break. We cut to a video package of Drew McIntyre says Jacob Fatu is a failure as a man, as a father. He is in San Joe, his hometown. His family is probably there too, but they are probably more familiar seeing him right here. And we cut to Drew McIntyre in a jail cell. Drew McIntyre says Jacob Fatu is not an inspiration. This jail represents who he is and who he always will be. Convict. He talks about Drew McIntyre taking food off his family's table, but Jacob Fatu did that. They needed a provider, a fighter. He gave them a walking mugshot. He says Jacob Fatu will never change. He doesn't belong in WWE, in his home. He belongs in the cage because he is an animal. He says at WrestleMania 42, he will beat him in an inch of his life. After that, Jacob Fatu will be back in the cage. Drew McIntyre says Jacob Fatu stole his title, his main event at WrestleMania 42. He says he will make it right at WrestleMania 42. He will be this judge, jury, and executioner. That was a great promo package by Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. I love it. That was just cinema by itself. And I get that 10 out of 10. We cut to Jacob Fatu watching it backstage, and in comes Captain Kelly. He tells her that are live and direct in San Jose. He says Drew McIntyre is going to find out, but in comes Solo in the MFT. Solo says Jacob Fatu is not the only one with family, and any time Drew McIntyre or anyone brings up Jacob Fatu's past, it makes their family look bad. He says it is embarrassment. Jacob Fatu says they are not doing this today, but they can't run it back. Soul Sikoa asks if this is the same spot where he got the teeth knocked out of his mouth. He asks if anyone knows who did it or what happened. Soul Sikoa tells him it would be a shame if it did happen again. Isn't that right, Tama Tonga? We'll see Tama Tonga look at Soul Sikoa with a side eye. Jacob Fatu asks him if that is right, and Tama Tonga tells him he knows how it is. Soul Sikoa says he will go talk to Nick Aldis. Tama Tonga needs to leave Soul Sikoa immediately. And that's all I gotta say. A video package of Royce Keys in his city airs. So we go to commercial break. So we get Royce Keys versus Berto accompanied by Angel. Now this match was 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's all I gotta say. As you can see the thumbnail right there by itself. The bell rings, we're underway. Berto with a headlock, but Royce Keys throws him into the ropes. Royce Keys with their clothes on, he lifts Berto up and power slams him. Berto gets up and Royce Keys with right hands. Royce Keys runs towards Berto, but Berto slides under the ring. Angel distracts Royce Keys and Berto pushes Royce Keys into the ring post. He throws Royce Keys back into the ring. Berto climbs the top rope and he lands a missile dropkick. He goes for the cover, but Royce Keys kicks out. Berto with right hands. Berto climbs the second rope and hits Royce Keys with their right hands, but Royce Keys lifts him up. Berto lands on his feet. Berto goes for a springboard crossbody, but Royce Keys catches him. Royce Keys with a fall-away slam. Royce Keys picks up Berto up and lands a running power slam. Royce Keys with a splash in the corner. He places Berto horizontally on the top rope. Angel gets on the ring apron and Royce Keys clotheslines him. Berto gets up and Royce Keys with a spine buster. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Royce Keys. This match went 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But I can say this though, Royce Keys is the next Bobby Lashley. That's all I gotta say. Alright, but I was so happy to see Royce Keys debut on SmackDown. He gonna get a chance to showcase himself on SmackDown. But anyway, let me continue. We go to the outside and see Pat McAfee arriving to the arena in a truck. Pat McAfee gets out of the truck and he sees Nick Aldis. He tells Pat McAfee that no one in WWE is allowed to put their hands on Pat McAfee under any circumstances. Pat McAfee tells him, "Chin up, it's WrestleMania season." He gives Nick Aldis his car keys and to take care of his car. Pat McAfee enters the arena and Jelly Roll stops him. He asks Pat McAfee if he told Randy Orton to RKO him. Pat McAfee says he told Randy Orton to hit everyone, but he didn't expect Jelly Roll to be out there with them. Jelly Roll tells him he is right. He shouldn't have been there, but Pat McAfee should not be there too. Pat McAfee tells Jelly Roll that he shouldn't be there too. Jelly Roll tells him Randy Orton is not here tonight. Now he grabbed Pat McAfee and comes to Nick Aldis, who also stops Jelly Roll, but Jelly Roll tells him to get his hands off of him. Pat McAfee calls Nick Aldis a fortune. Nick Aldis says he has to go save the business with Randy Orton. So we go to commercial break. Captain Kelly is backstage with Royce Keys. He tells her that this is a long time coming. He gets to do this in front of his people, the Bay Area, Fresco, San Joe, Vallejo, all the way around the Bay, and now they take it around the world. And then comes Sosa Coil, and he tells him a long time no see. They had some memories running around, and he tells Royce Keys that he runs SmackDown. If there is anything he needs, his door is always open. Pat McAfee music hits and out he comes to the ring. The fans boo. Pat McAfee says to cut the music. He says, "San Jose, what you know what?" He gives them the finger. He says it's crazy that they boo him. He is the hero in this entire thing. He says they cheer for the spineless bums like CM Punk. The fans chant CM Punk. He asks them if they like what CM Punk said on Monday when he called him Pat McAfee. He says as CM Punk was talking about a lot of people that were a lot more important, famous, and in a shape than he is. It was hard for him to get behind the fact that CM Punk was wearing a WWE jacket. He says he was 283 things for sale, and when that TKO merch check comes through, which accounts does it go to? Does it go to the needy wrestling family that can afford WrestleMania tickets, or does it go to the bank account titled "I'm sorry, Saudi Arabia"? He says that CM Punk is a fraud, like a politician. All talk, no action. A man who has the opportunity to change things, but he gets in the room and sits down, gets on his stomach and rolls over like the little you know what that he is. Pat McAfee says that he is a man of action, an agent of change. Everything that CM Punk says, CM Punk is Pat McAfee actually is. When CM Punk mentioned that tickets are too high, especially when CM Punk is one of the main event, he agrees with him. If it wasn't for Randy Orton, why would anyone spend their money to watch WrestleMania 42? Pat McAfee says he's decided to be their hero. He calls one of the fans a fatso, even if they don't deserve it. He decided to help the fans out. He called Ram Trucks the official sponsors of WrestleMania 42, and he asked them to pick up 25% off the bill to anyone who buys a WrestleMania 42 Saturday tickets from now on until Monday Night Raw. Pay says 25% off for WrestleMania 42 Saturday from now until Raw. It says Pat McAfee says WrestleMania 42 Sunday night is, you know what, it doesn't recommend anyone spending money on that. But WrestleMania 42 Saturday, that they see Randy Orton. He says Randy Orton will save their business. He asked the fans if they ever won the Stanley Cup here in San Jose, and the fans booed. Pat McAfee says, you know what, like the rest of the city. Cody Rhodes, thank God, thank you Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' music hits and now he comes to the ring. Cody Rhodes gets in the ring and Pat McAfee starts to sing during Cody Rhodes' entrance. Cody Rhodes tells Pat McAfee that he doesn't think Pat McAfee belongs here. He says he knows he can't touch him, but they can't get him as fantastic replace title. They go back. He can pick any WWE superstar he wants, do their entrance, get the pyro, live out the superstar experience, and go back to whoever seeing him here. And he can tell him, "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy." Cody Rhodes says there is a crazy old term in wrestling where people say he is a play wrestler. He doesn't know what that meant until last week, where Randy Orton is standing and Pat McAfee was saying Attitude Era lines. He tells Pat McAfee that the Attitude Era was 30 years ago and Randy Orton was a teenager during that time. He says that Pat McAfee spoke about making the business great again. A promoter, Paul Bosek, says marks are not marks. They are customers. When you grow up and you have everything you have because of said customers, they are not customers. They are family. Cody Rhodes says Pat McAfee has a gift for the centuries that pro wrestling has been around. They have never agreed on anything except what he is about to tell him. For the first time ever, the entire fandom of what they do agree on the fact at WrestleMania 42 they want to see Randy Orton, and they do not want to see Pat McAfee. Cody Rhodes tells him, "Go home, Pat McAfee," and he drops the microphone. Pat McAfee says he is home. He was born to be in this business. Cody Rhodes was born in this business. Silver spoon, gorilla, golden boy, and all he sees is the fakest dude on earth. Spray tan, dye hair, fake teeth, lipsy lips, a $10,000 suit that he wore because Ric Flair said it's cool to do. He says Cody Rhodes cosplay. Pat McAfee tells him he has a message for him and his inbreed family. If Cody Rhodes does not walk out of WrestleMania 42 as a 15-time world champion, You will never see or hear from him in this business ever again. I mean, it says if Randy Orton does not walk out of WrestleMania 42 as a 15-time world champion, you will never see or hear him from in this business ever again. Randy Orton has to get 15. That's all I gotta say at WrestleMania 42. The fans chant, "Go home, Pat." Cody Rhodes tells him to take his shades off, or is he too high, or to remember that he was standing in the table for this last 3 years. Yeeting, you must hate this place. And he says, Pat McAfee says he was tired. He was tired. He asks him if he wants to take a nap. Good, let's get Gunther out and put his you-know-what to sleep. Once and for all, Cody Rhodes drops the microphone and leaves the ring. Pat McAfee asks him where he is going. He says Cody Rhodes has always been an elite runaway artist. He calls him Stardust. He asks him if he's going to suck. Triple H, you know what? He said he calls him a politician bomb. He get nice and deep and Triple H and Paul Lacquet's cheeks. He tells him to come back and dance for the stupid kid. Cody Rhodes takes his jacket off and gets on the ring apron. Randy Orton appears on the screen. We see Jelly roll down. He says Cody Rhodes should go get his back, but on second thought, he will bring his boy to him. Randy Orton grabs Jelly Roll by the legs and drags him to the ground. Cody Rhodes goes to see Jelly Roll, and Randy Orton runs in the back. Pat McAfee sneaks up behind Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes turns around and out comes Randy Orton, and he hits Cody Rhodes from behind. Alright. It says It says Randy Orton throws Cody Rhodes into the ring. Pat McAfee hits Cody Rhodes with their right hand. Jelly Roll gets on the ring apron and he grabs Pat McAfee, but Randy Orton hits him with their right hand. Pat McAfee goes for a kick. Cody Rhodes moves. Cody Rhodes with right hands onto Randy Orton. Pat McAfee hits Randy Orton from behind, and Cody Rhodes falls onto the ring apron. Randy Orton with a draping DDT. Pat McAfee gives Randy Orton the undisputed title, and Randy Orton hits Cody Rhodes with it. That promo by Pat McAfee was garbage. CM Punk cut a way better promo. Let me say this: CM Punk cuts a way better pipe bomb promo than Pat McAfee, and that's facts. Let me continue. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Randy Orton and Pat McAfee were backstage. They get into Pat McAfee's truck and leaves. Nick Aldis is backstage, and in comes The Miz and Kit Wilson. Miz says they should be standing as champions. Nick Aldis says it was like something took over the referee, but the man was cursed. The Miz tells him he has to be kidding him. Nick Aldis says this is outside of his scope of control. Kit Wilson says there needs to be consequences for Dan Anglers. Nick Aldis says Kit Wilson could put him in the ring against Danhausen unless he is worried about the curse. Miz says there is no curse, and Nick Aldis walks away. Alright, so we get to the second match. So we get Jacob Fatu versus Tama Tonga. This match was boring for what it was. We already knew Jacob Fatu was going to win. The bell rings and we are underway. Tama Tonga with the headbutt, but Jacob Fatu throws him into the ropes. Both men with shoulder tackles. Tama Tonga with right hands. He throws Jacob Fatu to the turnbuckle, but Jacob Fatu with their running clothesline. Jacob Fatu with their right hand. Jacob Fatu with their running moonsault, and Tama Tonga rolls to the outside of the ring. Jacob Fatu with a suicide dive, and Tama Tonga falls onto the announcer table. So we go to commercial break. Bathroom commercial break. Jacob Fatu with their clothes on, followed by a senton. Jacob Fatu gets Tama Tonga in the corner and he climbs the second rope. Jacob Fatu headbutts Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga falls onto the mat. Jacob Fatu with a running hip attack. He goes for another hip attack, but Tama Tonga with a spinning heel kick. Tama Tonga with a modified pedigree. He goes for the cover, but Jacob Fatu kicks out. Tama Tonga runs towards Jacob Fatu, but Jacob Fatu with a super kick followed by a pop-up Samoan drop. Jacob Fatu with a mighty moonsault. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jacob Fatu. This was a boring match, what it was, but I'm glad Jacob Fatu won. After the match, Jacob Fatu grabs a microphone, but Drew McIntyre gets in the ring and he hits him from behind. The referee breaks it up, but Jacob Fatu with a super kick. Jacob Fatu runs towards Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre with a Claymore kick throws Jacob Fatu to the outside of the ring, and he throws him into the ring steps. Drew McIntyre grabs a steel chair and he hits Jacob Fatu across the back with it. Drew McIntyre with a future shock DDT on the outside of the ring. Drew McIntyre takes handcuffs out of his back pocket. He cuffs one of Jacob Fatu's hands and he pulls him to the ring post. Drew McIntyre hits Jacob Fatu with handcuffs and he handcuffs Jacob Fatu's other hand. Drew McIntyre wraps the handcuffs around the ring post. Out comes WWE. It says right here. It says out comes WWE official. So that's a part I left off right here. Yup. It says right here. Hold on. Hold up. Yup. It says right here. It says WWE. What was I? Let me read it. It says bathroom. Yeah. It says right here. It says WWE. It says WWE officials. It says out comes WWE officials. Jacob Fatu headbutts Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre gets up and kicks Jacob Fatu. Drew McIntyre with a right hand. Drew McIntyre throws Jacob Fatu back into the ring and he hits him with a Claymore kick. Drew McIntyre takes his belt off, but WWE officials gets in the ring. Drew McIntyre pushes them away and he begins to whip Jacob Fatu with the belt. WWE officials get back in the ring and breaks it up. Alright, so you mean to tell me 1000% that Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre can fight on can have a brawl on SmackDown, but when it's over, Finn and Brock Lesnar, Triple H and all those security and officials decide to break it up? That's crazy, but it is what it is. And I know that some people are not gonna care for Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu's match, so it is what it is. Alright, let me move on. So we go to commercial break. We cut to R-Truth, who is backstage and he is talking about how you can watch WrestleMania 42. The camera pans out and we see he is talking with Danhausen. He tells R-Truth that he can't wait for WrestleMania 42. He will take over WrestleMania 42 in the world. And comes Damian Priest, and Damian Priest says it's not Asuka anymore. R-Truth says he did not think it was Asuka. Damian Priest says last week R-Truth said it was Asuka. R-Truth says last week Damian Priest said there was a little girl running around with face paint on. Damian Priest says that was R-Truth. And in what world did he think it was Asuka? But Danhausen is gone. We hear screaming and see B-Fab being thrown into the equipment. In comes Rhea Ripley, and she looks at Damian Priest, telling him one down and one to go. So Rhea Ripley already took out B-Fab, so I think Rhea Ripley is going to take out Mitchin as well too. But anyway, let me continue. Sami Zayn music hits and now he comes. Yeah, Sami Zayn music hits and now he comes. The fans boo. He says he is not deaf. He hears them. He says everywhere he goes, everyone is talking about change. Even Cody Rhodes told him he needs to change to get ahead. He says he comes out, and by the sounds of it, sounds like some of them wants to see some change. Sami Zayn says his entire career has starved to give them something more than a hot t-shirt, a catchphrase, or a viral moment. He has tried to give them himself. He has given them something real. His heart, his mind, his soul. He said some fans boo, but there are a lot of people here that still means something to them. And those are the fans cares about. Sami Zayn says when he meets fans and his stuff got them through stuff, that's who he cares about. The fans in California who have had his back since day one. That his who cares about Sami Zayn. He says will never betray himself because that would mean betraying them. He says he will never change. He says for the ones that are booing, he doesn't even know what he did. The fans boo. He says he doesn't care. The moment he realized his ride or die fans have his back no matter what. All the pressure is off. He says like it or not. In 9 days, he is walking into WrestleMania 42 as United States Champion. And he will walk out as United States Champion. The lights go out and Trick Williams' music hits. Out comes Trick Williams and Lil Yachty to the ring. Trick Williams says he thinks the people are tired of hearing Sami Zayn talk. They are talking about Minister always crying, breathe, funky, can't get the job done. Sami Zayn. And the truth is that Sami Zayn hates him. He can't stand the sauce, the flavor, that he doesn't deserve these opportunities. He says he doesn't spend 20 years working to get there, but they also call him the anointed one. And like it or hate it, he will beat him at WrestleMania 42 because everyone loves Trick Williams. Sami Zayn says he doesn't think they love him. Love takes a long time to build. He says he thinks they like him but not love him. Sami Zayn says he was not to like about to understand that he can make all the jokes he wants. All the ends of the day. At the end of the day, he is the ring at WrestleMania 42 with a WrestleMania 42 main eventer, and he will drag him into deep water. He says Trick Williams is not showing him anything at WrestleMania 42. They will find out if they can walk the walk or if he is just talk. Lil Yachty says Sami Zayn sounds like a hater. You can't take away the coat, the amazing entrance, music, and music, but martialistic thing don't make Trick Williams. He says Trick Williams makes Trick Williams, and now WrestleMania 42 he will become the new United States Championship, which is hopefully so. Sami Zayn needs to drop the United States Championship to Trick Williams, and that's all I gotta say. But you mean to tell me that Carmelo Hayes cannot get a WrestleMania moment? That sucks, man. And that's all I gotta say. It's just sad, man, that Carmelo Hayes is not getting a WrestleMania moment. And that's all I gotta say. But speaking of that, where is Motor City Machine Guns and where's the Street Profits at? Why the Street Profits is still sitting in catering? You know what I'm saying? That just messed up, man. If WWE is not using the Street Profits, I wouldn't even mind the Street Profits getting their release and sign with AEW. And that's all I gotta say, man. Cause WWE is not utilizing the Street Profits. So that's all. That's sad, man. That's all I gotta say. But anyway, Matt Cardona music hits, and now he comes. So we go to commercial break. So we get Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. This was a decent match for what it was. Sami Zayn's at ringside, back from commercial, and the match is already underway. Matt Cardona with right hands, but Trick Williams with their knee. Trick Williams with a body slam and chops to the chest. Trick Williams throws Matt Cardona to the ropes, but Matt Cardona with a flying forearm. Matt Cardona climbs the second rope and he lands a drop kick. Trick Williams walks to the outside of the ring. Matt Cardona throws Trick Williams back into the ring, and Trick Williams is in the corner. Matt Cardona climbs the second rope, and Trick Williams trips him up. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Trick Williams with a backhand. He throws Matt Cardona to the ropes, but Matt Cardona slams him onto the mat. Matt Cardona with a unpretty hurt. He goes for the cover, but Trick Williams kicks out. Matt Cardona throws towards Trick Williams, but Trick Williams throws him into the turnbuckles. Trick Williams with a trick slap. In a moment like this, he goes for the cover, but Matt Cardona kicks out. Trick Williams throws Matt Cardona to the outside of the ring. Trick Williams with that clothesline, he gets in Sami Zayn's face. Trick Williams pushes Sami Zayn. He throws Matt Cardona back into the ring. Sami Zayn gets on the ring apron, and Lil Yachty trips Sami Zayn down. Sami Zayn gets up and hits him with a haluva kick. That distracts Trick Williams, and Matt Cardona rolls Trick Williams up, but Trick Williams kicks out. Trick Williams to the ropes, and Trick Williams with the trick shot. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Trick Williams. This was a decent match for what it was. Let me take a sip of my water. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So we get the next match. We get Danhausen versus Kid Wilson, accompanied by The Miz. And this match was not bad, but it was just fun. It was just a fine match for what it was. The bell rings were underway. Danhausen with a drop kick, followed by a Northern Light suplex. Kid Wilson with right hands, and he throws Danhausen to the ropes. Danhausen rolls to the outside, and he pulls with The Miz. But The Miz thinks it's Kid Wilson. The Miz looks at Danhausen and backs away. Kid Wilson to the outside, and he lands a flying elbow to the face. Kid Wilson throws Danhausen back into the ring. Kid Wilson with a running elbow. He goes for the cover, but Danhausen kicks out. He grabs Danhausen, but Danhausen with a jawbreaker. Kid Wilson off the ropes, and he lands a clothesline. The Miz tells him to go up. Kid Wilson climbs the top rope, but Danhausen sits up. Danhausen says, "You are cursed," and the power goes off behind Kid Wilson. He falls onto the top rope. Miz goes on the ring apron. Danhausen pokes him in the eyes. Danhausen with a kick to the face. He goes for the cover and gets a pin. The winner by pinfall, Danhausen. This match was fine for what it was. The way that Danhausen cursed Kid Wilson and the power was going off on the side turnbuckle, that was something else, man. But anyway, the Miz gets in the ring behind Danhausen, but the lights go out. They come back on, and we see Danhausen running outside of the ring. We cut to the back. We see Jade Cargill. She asks for Mitch, and we see Mitch down. Jade Cargill asks her what happened, and Mitch tells her Rhea Ripley. So we go to commercial break. We see Io Sky backstage, and comes Rhea Ripley. She tells Io Sky that she might have taken the order too, but she left Jade for her. Io Sky thanks her, and she asks Rhea Ripley to stay here. No distractions. Rhea Ripley agrees, and she tells Io Sky to leave some for her at WrestleMania 42. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get Io Sky versus Jade Cargill. And this match right here, I might as well say this main event match was pretty good for what it was, and that's all I gotta say. The bell rings were underway. Io Sky with a drop kick. Io Sky goes for a headlock takedown, but Jade Cargill throws her. Jade Cargill goes for a splash, but Io Sky moves out of the way. Io Sky to the ropes, but Jade Cargill with a shoulder tackle. Jade Cargill with a power slam. She goes for the cover, but Io Sky kicks out. Io Sky to the ropes, and Io Sky with a drop kick. Jade Cargill falls to the outside of the ring, and Io Sky goes for a suicide dive, but Jade Cargill with their right hand. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Io Sky climbs to the top rope and she lands a drop kick. Jericho goes down in the corner and Io Sky with a meteor. Io Sky climbs to the top rope, but Jericho Gill hits her with a right hand. Jericho Gill with a gorilla press, but Io Sky reverses it into a rear naked chokehold. Jericho Gill slams Io Sky in the corner. Jericho Gill goes for a kick, but Io Sky moves out of the way. Io Sky goes for the cover, but Jericho Gill kicks out. Jericho Gill with a blue thunderbomb. She goes for the cover, but Io Sky kicks out. Jericho Gill goes for a choke slam, but Io Sky reverses it and slams Jericho Gill onto the mat. Jericho Gill rolls to the outside of the ring. Io Sky on the ring apron, and she lands a springboard moonsault to the outside of the ring onto Jericho Gill. She throws Jericho Gill back into the ring. Io Sky gets back in the ring and Jericho Gill rolls to the outside. Io Sky to the outside. Io Sky runs towards Jericho Gill, but Jericho Gill slams her face first into the ring steps. Jericho Gill throws Io Sky back into the ring. Jericho Gill with a kick to the face. Jericho Gill with the jaded. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jericho Gill. This was a pretty good main event match. What it was. She grabs a chair after the match, but Rhea Ripley music hits and now she comes. Rhea Ripley gets in the ring and both are face to face. Jericho Gill throws the chair to the outside of the ring and Jericho Gill leaves the ring. Jericho Gill walks to the back and SmackDown goes off the air. Alright, let me read you guys the quick. Alright, never mind. And WWE Smackdown goes off the air. Alright, let me give my honest opinion what I think about WWE Smackdown. Just to be honest, now WWE Smackdown was a decent show for what it was, and I had to give that show a 5 out of 10. So like I said, if you guys enjoy my WWE Smackdown review on highlights, make sure you guys please subscribe to my channel because I'm on the road to 11K before the end of April. Follow all my social media down below in the description. And go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. Go check out my WWE NXT review on highlights. And also go check out my WWE Raw review on highlights that I did on my channel. And I will see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some Fortnite. And then Sunday I will be streaming. I will be going live on Twitch Sunday for some WWE 2K26 to play some Universe mode. But anyway, I will be dropping my world premiere for my WWE Smackdown review on highlights at around 5 o'clock a.m. on YouTube. I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.